Like, what is causing the fact that they aren't responding to hails, but there are clearly survivors in the central area? Like, what would cause their forced silence? Well, that's not a good sign.
Pathetic worm. You dare to argue with your master?
It was not you whom I swore to serve within these walls. My lips are sealed.
Confess. What was the old man's last command? What are you planning?
Give up, Keeper. You have lost this battle. Again.
We're getting nowhere with these ones, sir. Permission to execute them.
Okay, so yes, we are in the middle of a battle, turns out. Okay. Apparently we're still in cutscene because it's asking me to skip if I try and rotate or move the camera. And I'm super impressed with these Navis bodyguards. Okay. I assume the camera wasn't supposed to be pointed here and I was supposed to be able to see who and what was shooting there. We're still in cutscene mode. There we are. Okay, so that was probably them just choosing to execute them. Hopefully there's no dialogue we missed. Yeah. But the fact that those guards, you know, disarmed, on their knees, were just like, no, we're not going to betray our masters. You've lost. So, and they were the Navis bodyguards, so presumably whoever we're talking to now, this Felic or Celio, is against the Navis Nobilite. And since we're looking for a navigator, they would be with the Navis, and so against him. So we want to be against him. I'm trying to put all the pieces together. There's definitely some sort of conflict going on. I was right about that. And I think this is our big bad for this conflict. A tall man stops you with a gesture when you approach. Blood is trickling down the pearly scales of his weary face, and not just his own blood. Two jet-black, unblinking eyes are watching your every move, and the third one, the mark of the navigator's feet, is menacingly pulsing behind the lowered lid. In the middle of his forehead, "Step back, or I will unleash all the horrors of the Sea of Souls upon you. Emperor, be my witness." Okay, you are a navigator, though. So... you are a navigator who is against the Navis bodyguards, who are the bodyguards of the navigators. I'm curious about this conflict, who you are, and what your connection is to this, because clearly you're against... I don't know, we'll find out more. I'm trying to figure it all out just from these early clues, and there's not enough info yet. Abelard, if you'd be so kind, desist, brother. It was the Emperor's will that brought me to this abode. Keep talking to me this way, and I'll make you swallow your own tongue. Abelard, if you would be so kind. The Seneschal takes a deep breath. Before you stands his lordship, the rogue trader Ignatius von Valencius, heir to the greatest protectorate in the Koronus Expanse and bearer of the sacred warrant of trade. Allow me to point out that Nobilite custom requires the Lord Navigator to introduce himself first, but given the unusual circumstances on the station, his lordship, the rogue trader, is willing to turn a blind eye to your hostility just this once. Yeah, that's why we keep Abelard around. In that case, I shall turn a blind eye to your unceremonious invasion, but just this once. There's an invasion. I'm a rogue trader. I can go where I want. You're calling me invading? Come on. There's a dangerous glint in the man's dark-shrouded eye. Very well. Allow me to introduce myself. Before you stands Felic Christoph August, keeper of this place. So you did not arrive to offer support to the traders? This is great news. Having said that, you must understand that Urac 5 is a holy sanctum for House Orselio. and the path to it is only revealed to a select few. It pains me to say that you are not on the guest list. Provide me with a navigator and I will immediately depart the station. I came here in search of a navigator, so you are coming with me. I'm looking for the Lord Inquisitor's interrogator, one Heinrich von Kalox. Do you know anything about his present location? What's happening on the station? Where did all these corpses come from? So he's claiming that he is the keeper of this place. Keeper being a role or rank or something. It's capitalized. So it sounds like he is someone of importance here. So assuming it's possible he isn't the enemy and that they're traitors. Don't know enough. I don't know if I necessarily want him as a navigator. We don't know enough. Definitely want to find out what's happening on the station first, but I suppose while we're in the area, I want to know more about the station, but side question, do you know anything about this interrogator? The Lord Inquisitor's interrogator? I think I would know if such an important individual decided to pay us a visit. Very well, what's happening on the station? Where did all the corpses come from? Betrayal. A most banal thing in the life of the Nobilite, don't you think? I was stabbed in the back by my closest friend, Theobald Orselio, the second keeper of Urok 5 and my mentor. On his instructions, my own people sabotaged the generators, blew up the shuttles, brutally massacred the loyal servants of my mistress. Most unforgivably, they dared to take her prisoner. Greedy scum, I swear by the throne's light, their souls will perish in the darkness of the void. So he's also an Orselio. So he's claiming, again, we can't necessarily trust everything he's saying. That's a mistake that people make in games where they just assume everyone, including the bad guys, will tell you the truth when you ask them. But if we assume that what he's telling us is true, he is the primary keeper, Felix Orsilio, the second keeper, a close friend, stabbed him in the back, and then ordered everyone to blow up the generators, blow up the shuttles, massacre the loyal servants, and take his mistress a prisoner. I don't know, he could be telling the truth, but the fact that his men are all standing and there's bodies everywhere, including them shooting 3 unarmed guards, feels like whoever is just killing a bunch of unarmed guards is the bad guy. But I don't know. We don't know enough. Felix falls silent for a few moments, and then furiously slams the end of his staff into the floor. The madmen have captured Lady Cassia, and are now torturing her upstairs while we are idly chatting down here. Help me rescue her, or be gone, but waste no more of my precious time. What kind of help are you talking about? I still have questions concerning the situation on the station. Take him by force. I do not care about your mistress. I am looking for a navigator, and you will do. Your words are rife with disrespect, and I will not tolerate it. That is very true. But is that... if he's telling the truth, then attacking him leaves the station in the hands of, you know, the evil faction. What kind of help are you talking about? I would never ask you for such a favor under different circumstances, and yet... Felix takes his hand away from his ribcage, notices blood, and winces in pain. And yet Lady Cassia's well-being is above all. I haven't got many people left, and my wounds are too deep for me to act with precision and swiftness, but you may actually succeed. In order to ascend to the mistress's chamber, you will need to remake a holy relic sanctified with the blood of Lady Orselio herself. This is the control rod of the elevator machine spirit. I have one part, and the other was lost during the mutiny, but even this relic will be of no use unless the elevator mechanism is powered. Why should I help you? How do I remake the control rod? How am I supposed to power the elevator? Man, I do not like working on this with one half of the story. Okay. Why should I help you? You came to the station for a reason. House Orsilio will not be able to help you until the current crisis is resolved. But if you aid us now, I promise we will reach an agreement that you will find satisfying, be it riches, influence, or the powers of our navigators. How do I remake the control rod? I have a phylactery containing the mistress's blood. It needs to be taken to the laboratory, which is located behind one of the reliquary doors. The most ancient of sacred mechanisms will help rebuild the rod. The tech priest ceaselessly performed the rites of appeasement so that the machine spirits would serve the house in its time of need. The fateful hour is now upon us. So how am I supposed to reach the elevator? The station's main cogitator is situated in the guard room. Just enter the correct command sequence, and the sacred mechanism will do the rest. If it's so simple, why don't you do it yourself? I never said that the feat would be easy to accomplish. The path to the laboratory and the guard room is blocked by the very same madmen who took over the station. They will not negotiate and are not afraid of displeasing the Nobilite noblesse or incurring the Emperor's wrath. They bow only to brute strength, something which I currently happen to lack. I guess that makes sense. So what have you decided to send into the Von Valencius line? I still have questions concerning this situation on the station. Woes of your house upset the balance of power in this part of the galaxy. I will help you, if not for the sake of profit, but for the good of the Imperium. It will be an honor to save the Lady Navigator from her woes. Rogue Trader's aid will cost House Orsilio, but you should rejoice, for your mistress will live. I will rescue your mistress, but in return I require that House Orsilio sign a contract with my protectorate. Taken by force, attack, blah blah blah. Questions about the situation on the station. It might just take us back to that previous. It does not. Our idle chatter will not save Lady Cassia, but if you need to be sure of something before you can help, so be it. Tell me about your mistress. Regretfully, I am not allowed to discuss my mistress, whether with her retinue or the outsiders. She will tell you about herself personally if she feels like it. That is, assuming she survives. I am begging you not to waste any more of our precious time, for it is running out. What makes you think your mistress is still alive? A spark of concern flickers in the black pits of Felix's eyes. You may not believe me, but Lady Cassia is capable of... The navigator cringes, seemingly in pain, and furiously exhales. Incredible things. Not even the traitor Theobald can easily harness her power. My men have reported the station is in a deplorable state. The navigator irritably brushes away a strand of bladed hair. Trust me, I should know. Everything happened too quickly. There were dozens of reports of accidents, victims, and failing systems, but the only precious thing aboard the station is Lady Castia's life. Everything else is futile and can be easily replenished. Why did you not respond to the messages from Rykad Minoris? I've already said York 5 is sacrosanct. It is the holy domain of the Navis Nobilite, and is forbidden for commoners from the world below. We had hoped to solve the crisis on our own, but when the situation spiraled out of control, we could not establish contact because the traders had disabled our equipment. Enough questions. Huh. So this is the choice of why we help or what we're going to request from them. I will rescue your mistress, but in return I require that House Orsilio sign a contract with my protectorate. I think that's fair. We're trying to build our wealth and standing. Yeah. Your house will sign with us if I rescue her. Felix's reply sounds curt and tired. So be it. Hurry, the mistress's safety is all that matters, but should you fail, our arrangement is finished. Okay. A sealed vial engraved with the initials CTEO. Cassia something something Orsilio, I assume. Goal of restarting the elevator. Yeah, the fact that they are referred to as Felix bodyguards and the people they shot were Nobilite bodyguards really makes me think that this guy is the aggressor. We will take the multi-key and that all will be sent to our storage. We can't get back there, it looks like. More bodyguards. Ooh, examine awareness. Yes, please. 100% chance.
The premonition runs true.
The corpses were mauled by a force far beyond any... corpses were mauled by a force far beyond any mortal capacity. The faces are twisted in pain, and the hands are fused with improvised weapons, tools, scissors, and cutlery. And yeah, that's one of the Navis bodyguards, who's been clearly tortured, is what it's saying. Yeah, I think it's very safe to say that these are the aggressors. We'll talk to him after we...
White. Bright, pure color. And it's all riddled with horrible veins that carry the poison of fear and pain throughout its body. Who are you? Why are you crying?
If the witch is talking about the enemies of humanity who set upon this abode of noble navigators, then our weapons will soon dispel their wicked misery.
Part of me is thinking we can talk to him again and point out, like, hey, you've been torturing people. That's not okay. Which I'll try, but my guess is it's not going to work. No, we have nothing to say. Hopefully when we come back after we get through this, we'll have several more pieces of evidence to prove who is guilty or not, and we can call him on it. Oh. Level up right there for jumping that. Alright. Oh, another level up. Those always take a while. So first, we've got our characteristic upgrade, and we're gonna... Let me check because I still don't remember. So our current willpower is 60. That's what I always forget. Is this showing our current value or the value will increase it to? And it's showing our current value. So if we increase it again, we'll go up to 65, which doesn't really help us. Except it gets us closer to 70. Is everything else even? Ballistic skill is not. So we could theoretically raise our ballistic skill, or our perception, or our strength. But no. I think we have already taken a step back from ballistics because our psychic powers, just getting psi rating 1 was enough to make our psychic powers actually useful. So I think I'm going to keep focusing on willpower. And then for our talent, oh no. So this is level 6, so we still can't get... Oh, we have a much more limited selection. Why? Choose ability. These are different than the talents we got at previous levels. So we can now either pick an ability that's focused on our soldier stuff. We could grab a whole new psychic tree, because currently we have pyromancy, but we could also pick up, you know, biomancy or sanctic powers or something to have another tree of abilities. Or we could pick up more psychic powers, so we don't have just inflame, which is the one we already have right now. Right? We have this. Is it locked because we have it? Prerequisites, pyromancy. No, inflame is clearly not what we have. Until the end of combat, all burning effects will deal 12 more damage. I definitely want that. So these are locked because we're not a high enough ranking. So you get Firestorm. This psychic power can only target creatures suffering from warp burn or burning. If the target is an ally, this psychic power deals no damage to it. Everyone adjacent to the target, both allies and enemies, suffers the effects of the ignite psychic power. Ignite is what we have, not inflame. Got it. All creatures within an area effect within 12 cells. saying target, but it's hitting all creatures. And it's only 1 AP to hit all creatures? Everyone adjacent to the target, both allies and enemies, suffer the effects of the ignite power. Trying to figure out exactly what this means it would do. So if I have to target on a character, either an ally or an enemy. I can't just choose a space out there. And that ally or enemy has to be burning. If they're an ally, they don't take any more damage. If they're not an ally... If the target is an ally, this psychic power deals no damage to it. Everyone adjacent to the target, both allies and enemies, suffers the effects. It doesn't say that the target actually takes any damage. Just that you choose someone and everyone around them suddenly burns. I don't know. Not clear. Then orchestrate flames. The target does not stop burning and no longer makes tests to stop burning. Additionally, if the target is an ally, every melee attack that the ally makes inflicts full burning damage on targets of their attack, while they themselves now suffer only suffer half burning damage from now on. So I could light, say, Abelard on fire, then hit him with orchestrate flames. He'd take half damage from the fire, but then do full burning damage on every single one of his attacks for the rest of combat. That's cool. And people have mentioned that building a melee-focused pyromancy psyker can be really powerful. So possibly I made a mistake choosing soldier. But I'm going to keep going with it for now. Theoretically, we can redo our character if I ever reach a point where I think I've gone the wrong route. But I'm happy with where we are now. I can still use this on my allies, this, as well as just making enemies permanently burn. Because I can hit someone with fire, and if they catch on fire, then I can use this to make sure they just stay on fire forever. Without being able to test to stop it. Let's look at these. These are our soldier abilities. Controlled shot. The soldier gives a sign that they are about to open fire. The soldier and their allies will automatically dodge the soldier's next attack. The soldier would dodge their own next attack? Are there attacks that could accidentally hit you? I mean, presumably if you threw a grenade, maybe? Who knows? But I'm thinking about this, something like this on Argenta, where she could then fire where Abelard is up front, and he gets a free dodge against that specific burst attack. Although I don't know if it's just a single shot that he dodges, or if he would dodge the whole spray. Unclear. Dash. Soldier immediately dashes in their selected direction, spending all of their movement points. Does not provoke attacks of opportunity. Allows the soldier to dash through allies and enemies, but not through obstacles. Concentrated fire. The next ranged area attack made by the soldier deals plus 80% damage and has an additional 16% dodge reduction. Area attacks. I don't think burst weapons count as area attacks, because deals damage to all creatures in an area doesn't seem to apply. Entrenched. Soldier immediately spends all their AP and MP and gains plus 30% bonus to cover efficiency. The next time the soldier uses run and gun, they gain back all spent AP and MP plus 1 additional AP. It also resets the cooldown of all other soldier abilities except for run and gun. So they would get their previous turn's AP and MP plus 1 additional AP added onto their current turn, allowing them to run really far, do a lot of actions, etc. Meh. Rapid fire. Soldier's next ranged burst attack will have its base rate of fire doubled, but deal 25% less damage. All the shots will follow random trajectories. Only works with weapons capable of burst fire. Random trajectories sounds terrible. But getting double shots off sounds cool. Like twice as many shots with a little reduction in damage. I don't know what random trajectories means, because it seems pretty random right now. Anyway, for our character, we're not going to do that, and I'm not going to go into another school of magic at this moment. I'm going to go with Firestorm, even though I don't really know what it does. But definitely it seems like if the enemies are grouping up, I can light someone in the middle on fire and then firestorm them to put that burning, to ignite all the people around them. But it doesn't look like it. Yeah. What I don't like about this is it's clearly saying that allies don't take damage from this ability. If the target is an ally, psychic power deals no damage to it, but it doesn't say what damage this power is doing to non-ally targets. But it implies it's doing something, and that makes me uncomfortable. But we're gonna go with it. Abelard, your rank up now. So you just have a choice of various warrior abilities. Endure, at this archetype rank, oh, there we go. Until the warrior's next turn. I think it does the normal fire ability damage, but applies it to everyone. It's what it seems to be implying, but it's not written out. Just want things to be a bit clearer of exactly what it means. So yeah, until the warrior's next turn, all incoming damage is reduced by 2, and the warrior gains 11 temporary wounds. Could be very powerful. And it only doesn't damage allies if the target is an ally. If your allies are close to the enemy, they will take damage. Yes, I saw that. Had the same issue with things not being super clear. Yeah, some systems, they are very meticulously clear about exactly what something will do. Others try and be more flavor texty of, oh, we want to be more fun with our writing. And it's like, but I want to know exactly what it does. So I feel like they need to be clearer. I like this. He is up front regularly. Looks like something I can use every round at the cost of 1 AP to just always have temporary hit points and reduce incoming damage. Reckless Strike. The warrior's next melee attack gains plus 20% armor penetration and plus 8 damage and ignores 12% of the target's parry. Every enemy who survives an attack enhanced by this ability will attack the warrior in return, including creatures with ranged weapons. Interesting. So if our warrior ran into someone with a rifle or something who can't target him in melee, you can target with pistols, but not larger weapons, they would be forced to attack the warrior, meaning they would have to step back, potentially provoking an attack of opportunity. Endure is awesome. They'll run back and then try to shoot. Yeah, that's what it seems to be saying, which sounds really fun. Sworn Enemy. The warrior marks a target, gaining a plus 20% armor and plus 6 damage on melee attacks against that target. If the target attacks the warrior during this round, the warrior gains plus 1 AP once per round. So this one, he just gets a little bit more damage and some better armor against a specific target of his choice. And again, he can do it every round. Breakthrough. The warrior gains the Slash ability with one charges for this round. Slash cannot be used in the same round as charge. Slash. The warrior dashes through an enemy to the cell on the enemy's opposite side and makes a melee attack with 50% reduced damage. Can be applied only once. So this is basically the same as charge, except he ends up on the opposite side of the enemy rather than approaching the enemy and stopping there. Forceful Strike. Warrior gathers all their might for a crushing strike. Their next melee attack pushes the enemy away. The distance of the push is equal to 3 cells. This ability cannot be used with a chainsaw. I have never really liked pushback abilities on melee characters in basically any game, because I want my melee character to be adjacent to their characters, so that they have to take attacks of opportunity to leave or do anything there. So knocking them away means that they're free to just walk around my warrior and get to my squishies in the back. Someone is pushed into an object, they will take damage from that as well. Ooh, okay. That is not mentioned, but that could be good. So if you have someone backed up to a wall and you push them away, they take additional damage. Now that actually is a viable use. Haunting Scream. The warrior unleashes a terrifying scream, drawing the attention of their enemies and becoming a priority target for any enemy who fails a willpower resistance test for 3 rounds. The target the enemies will attack first if able. And this is a very strange shape that the attack takes. So it's semi-directional, but also attacks around you as well. I do like my frontline characters having a taunt. They can also fall prone, so they will have to waste a turn standing up. Sounds good. I think he's got some sort of chain weapon. I don't know if it's a chainsaw, or a chain sword, or a chain blade, or whatever. But he might not be able to use this ability right now, depending on what weapon he currently has. Oh, we already have Endure. Why am I even looking at that one? So... yeah, I like the taunt. I like Reckless Strike because Reckless Strike sounds like it'll apply to all the enemies he's hitting, even with his cleave. So if I used it with the cleave, he would hit up to 3 enemies, all of them for armor penetration, damage, and reducing their parry. And causing them to focus on him. I think I'm going to go with Reckless Strike. Yeah. Let's go with Reckless Strike, and then we can't pick up weapon skill. Oh, never mind. These are actual skills. So he's not getting an ability boost. Interesting. So our soldier here, our main character, psyker, soldier, etc., he got an ability increase, like one of his primary characteristics, and chose a willpower. Abelard at level 6 is only getting a skill increase. He's getting a +10 to it. So he is our best at carouse. Currently 65. So I could keep boosting that. Or I could assume that he's going to be leading some other skill. Since we don't have anyone who is athletics, and he's already at 40, we could get it to a 50. So he could be our athletics and carouse person. Coercion. Again, he's a fellowship guy. So, and no one else that we have is. Demolition, I think, is Argenta's thing. Medicae, he is our Medicae person as well. Well, he and Argenta are able to use the Medikit. But I guess neither one's actually good at it. It's an intelligence skill. If we are going to find a tech priest soon, hopefully the tech priest can handle most of the intelligence skills. Because they always have high tech or high intelligence. At least if they're reasonably designed, they would. So I think I'm going to hold off on giving him Medicae. I'll give him athletics. We don't need to go... So I guess my thought is, I want to go depth on skills, but we need to have each person covering like 3 skills that they're good at, so that all the skills are accounted for. We don't need multiple people with a single skill that they're focusing on. But it's just rough because I don't know who all of our companions will be, and who's going to be in our core party that goes out with us. So it could be that I give him athletics, and then we find some awesome person that joins our main party who would be an athletics person. Yes, Abelard can use Medicae kits. We learned that at the very beginning. So Abelard and Argenta have Medicae skill or are able to use the Medikits. So arguably one of them could be our Medicae person. We need someone to have that skill. I just want to see the next few characters that they've been hinting we're getting. At least I think they're characters that's going to be part of our party. And then I'll figure out how I want to organize skills, which could be an argument for giving him carouse, because his carouse is already 65. I doubt we're going to get someone else that's going to take over being our main carouse person. So I could arguably say, okay, let's just keep boosting his carouse. He will be away from other allies due to being a melee. That is true, and I didn't consider that. If he's always up front, once we have 6 party members, we should probably have roughly half the party, 2 to 3 people up front would make sense, and then 2 to 3 in the back. Something like that. So, but he'll be up front when a lot of our characters will be a ways behind him. But hopefully not too far where he couldn't run back if he needed to. But yeah, I don't think he should be our main Medicae person. I'm going to give him carouse, just to be on the safe side for once we meet a few more of our other characters, because if we get someone who already has, you know, 50, 60 in athletics, I'll feel dumb if I give him athletics. So yeah, carouse, just the safe pick. Adira. So she is also a psyker. And reasonably good at it. So she's getting actual talents. That is so interesting. So up to this point, all of the levels we've gotten have been fairly similar between all the different archetypes. But this 6th level, everyone's doing their own thing. We got just a ability, and then we got a characteristic ability upgrade, and then not a talent, it was something else. Then Abelard got a skill and a similar, like, ability thing, not a talent. Now she's getting a proper talent and then a characteristic increase. Very weird. You'll be able to get 3 of these by the end of the tree, I think, so it's just a matter of time. 3 archetypes? Or what? So we could again focus on her psychic abilities. We still can't give her Psyker Minoris because she needs to get up to level 9 as an unsanctioned Psyker. There was the idea of giving her Psychic Barrage because we're typically in the back, and so just +3 damage is good. But then there's the idea that we could give her things that focus on her operative skills to make the most use of that. Have her initiate damage on new enemies as her main focus to deal extra damage. Suppose weakness costs 0 AP. I would still think there's a limit to how many times we can use it. No, Exposed Weakness is the one that removes the exploit stack, ruining the target's dodge, parry, and armor. Right. That's not... I was thinking of the Analyze Enemies. And being able to use that infinitely on enemies would be really powerful. But no. Instant exposure I don't think matters. At least currently it doesn't seem like it. Tide of Excellence. Whenever the operative triggers an exploit on an enemy, the operative gains +1 damage and +2% armor penetration until the end of combat. Only applies to the first strike or projectile in a burst attack. Stacks. Okay. So this is saying if we just keep adding exploits on an enemy, then the operative will just keep getting these bonuses more and more until we finally attack. Weak body, weak soul. Exposed weakness also reduces enemies' toughness and willpower by -9, 3 times int. For 1 round. Which could theoretically reduce enemies' health. Interesting. I don't know. I told myself that between recording sessions I would figure out build ideas so I wouldn't have to spend ages reading through all these, and I totally didn't do that, of course. Oh, you're saying we'll be able to get 3 skills by the end of the tree. So by the time we reach max level or something, we're only able to max out 3 skills? If it helps, I've reached the 3rd archetype and I still don't know what to pick for them. Yeah, I just don't want to spend forever reading through all of these. There's just so many. Like an absurd number. I know last time I was thinking I would choose for Psychic Barrage, both for Adira as well as our main character, since they both use psychic powers, to just get a +3 damage on every single psychic attack we make, assuming we're in the back where we should be. Just seems like a wise choice regardless. The carouse, athletics, etc. You get to pick like 3, I think, by the end of the tree, so you kind of just figure out which 2 you don't want, and then it's just a matter of order. So you don't think you have to pick between athletics and carouse. You will get them both very soon if you want. Fair. I guess right now, we only have 4 characters. I want to have all my bases covered, but I also don't want overlaps. We'll go Psychic Barrage. It's a perfectly fine choice. There might be better choices, but I'm never going to complain about her getting free extra damage. So then we have the choice of raising her intelligence, raising her perception. Both are already whole numbers, so we wouldn't get a bonus increase. Ballistic skill, doesn't matter. Weapon skill, or willpower. We could boost that. She's got whole values for all of them, so we aren't going to get a bonus from any of them. Willpower would be a step towards making her a better psyker, versus intelligence and perception would make her better at being an operative. I don't know. Right now, most of her capability seems to be coming from her psychic abilities. So I kind of want to keep boosting that. But I also assume the operative side is powerful if I had built her that way. And maybe I should have put more effort into getting talents for boosting her operative abilities. But as it is, I think I'm just going to go with boosting her willpower. Make her a better psyker. We can always respec. I can look into better options and decide later if I'm making terrible choices. It's not a big deal. Magenta. So she's also a soldier, so she should have the same options we have. Boosting a characteristic. We can boost her ballistic skill. It's a whole value, so no bonus. Agility, also whole value. Perception, strength, willpower. We could technically raise her willpower up to a new whole value, so that she'd have a willpower of 4 for her bonus. But I don't know that she uses willpower much. I think ballistic skills. She misses a lot of her shots. So just working on making her more accurate feels good. Alright, controlled shot. We've already read all these, but I've already forgotten them after going through the previous 3 characters. So, soldier gives a sign, yes. So this one allows allies to dodge the soldier's next attack. Which is good because if Abelard's up front, as he regularly is, I've regularly had issues with having to try and steer my shots with a burst fire around him. So being able to just spend an AP so that he gets a free dodge feels good. We can respec. Control shot is good if you want to rapid fire. Yes, that's what I'm thinking. Yes, you can respec. The high factotum... High factorum? Totem? Whatever. Janus something or other on the ship's main bridge. He has several different dialogue options. One is, I need more helpers or something to that effect, where you can create mercenaries. So just new people to fill your ranks. They don't have any backstory or anything, but you can just craft people however you want. The other option is my allies need more training or something to that effect, and that is a respec mechanic. So you can just click on your character or any of the others, and it puts them back to level 1. At least that's how it worked with Owlcat's Pathfinder games. It puts the character back to level 1, and you can just fully respec them. It might put them back to the level you got them at, actually. So anyone that you get later on at, you know, a higher level, it might put them back to that minimum level. I don't know for sure, but yes. You'll be able to respec your characters so that if you've made mistakes, you can undo it all and then re-level them up. You wish you knew this so much sooner? Yes. It's obviously I haven't used it yet, but I know it's an option. I know what I'll spend 3 hours doing tomorrow. Have fun with that. Let's see, area attacks. Do you happen to know if burst fire counts as an area attack? Because I keep having that question. We see different abilities that say your next ranged area attack, blah, blah, blah. But area attack says it's something that deals damage to all creatures in an area effect. And burst fire doesn't deal damage to all creatures in an area effect. So, like, I would think burst fire feels like an area attack, but then when you read area attack, it no longer seems to apply. So then it's like, okay, is area attack specifically things like throwing a grenade? Okay, shotguns, flamers, melters. Things that literally damage everyone in an area. Alright, so if we focus her on flamers instead, which is also a very Adeptus Sororita thing, then this sort of ability would be good. But if we go with... Well, I guess this would also help if you're using flamers, because you're going to want your allies to be able to dodge. Trench, I don't think sounded very good to me. And rapid fire did sound good, but the random trajectories worries me. I'm going to go with controlled shot. That just sounds good in general. They don't say this, but I'm 99% sure shotguns can be used in melee range. I don't know.